Hi, everybody, and welcome to Popcorn Dogs. Here at the Dogcast, Popcorn Dogs. This is one of our shows. Popcorn Dogs is where we talk about movies, and it's when we don't have enough time to research Elden Ring because lives exist outside of the podcast that we just say, hey, let's just talk about a movie that we know and love, and that is Popcorn Dogs. This is a podcast about psychopaths and cattle pistols and psychopaths.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
My name is Brad. I'm one of the psychopaths here today. Who else do we have?
My name's Tyler, and not a psychopath. If anything, I'm the protagonist cowboy.
If we had a psychologist in here, they would have a field day with all of us, I think.
Yes.
You're kind of the Josh Brolin type.
You can call that is the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me in my entire life.
Who is
someone
that?
called me handsome today at work? Tops that.
What?
Yes.
Was it you in the mirror?
No, it was a bartender. She called me hot, and I was like, "Nice." It's a confidence boost. No, I didn't say anything. I did the finger guns and everything. I was like, "Oh, nice."
Just delivering kegs. You're hot.
Well, it's because I'm a manly man, and I do man things, and I lift kegs.
Whenever someone says that there's something here, Tywin Lannister, just like anyone who says they're a manly man is no manly man. Anyone who says they're a king is no king.
I'm a weak little boy.
There you go. You did reverse psychology on Tywin Lannister.
There we go. Checkmate.
We have another fantastic guest returning from a long hiatus to the show.
Hello, my name is Carly, the wife of Mr. Brad.
Yeah, and you have a new last name since last time.
Yeah, but I'm not a psychopath. I am a cow extraordinaire. I love cows. So this cattle gun is like, what?
This is why you were watching the movie and you're like, this is horrifying.
Like they do this to cows? I get it. But here we are.
Well, I was thinking, would you rather be the Tommy Lee Jones, Ed Tom, or the Anton Chigurh? Who are you more like?
Who am I more like?
Which side of the coin is she going to pick?
Oh.
You are the Carla Jean's grandma. She's like, you know how many friends I have in El Paso?
None. This many.
This many.
Yeah, that's me.
or if you're having a rough day at work, you're the old lady who's like, I can't give you no information.
That is me at work.
And Anton Chigurh is just some angry person needing wound care. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Today we're talking about No Country for Old Men, a film from 2007. Was released May 19th in 2007. Carly, this was your first time seeing the film, right?
It was. I can't believe I haven't seen it. I believe it came out in 2007. I think you just said that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, how have I not seen this movie before? It was amazing. I loved it. I love all things about like podcasts regarding serial killers and things like that. So
you love murder.
I don't love murder.
And with
Well, you're in a safe place. You can say it's okay.
I love learning about murder.
I just do a 10-part series about a serial killer.
Brad, if you ever have a life insurance policy taken out on you, I would start to worry.
That's why I don't talk about it out loud with her.
It's true.
Yeah. You've seen, I believe, most of the Coen Brothers films at this point.
Yeah, I think I don't have a list in front of me, but yeah.
I think that there's a thing that happens with us, though, where I'll say, have you seen this movie? And you probably have seen the poster enough sometimes that you think you've seen a movie. And so I was absolutely delighted when we were starting this up last night.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Tyler, what's your experience?
I was in high school when this movie came out. I was very excited to see it. I believe I saw it in theaters opening day. I'm a big Coen Brothers fan. Sadly, the only Coen Brother movie I think I have not seen so far is The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is a major oversight on my part after watching the film last night.
Buster Scruggs is fantastic.
Yeah, it's been on my list for a while, but I'm a big Coen Brothers fan. I'm a big Josh Brolin and Tommy Lee Jones fan as well. Mm-hmm. At the time, I did not know
Tommy Lee Jones.
I like Tommy Lee Jones a lot.
Okay,
yeah, I'm a big
You said you're a big Josh Brolin and Tommy
Lee Jones.
Oh,
fan.
okay.
So it has, and Woody Harrelson's in the movie, who I also am a big fan of. So
just shows up playing himself.
Yes, pretty much. I wasn't familiar with Javier Bardem at the time.
Javier Bardem.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
My Spanish is not good.
It is no good-o.
It is muy poco.
Whoa.
I wasn't familiar with him at the time, but since then he's been a phenomenal actor that I've kind of kept on my radar. Whenever he does something, I make sure to at least check it out.
He played God in Mother by Darren Aronofsky.
That was such a good movie.
I've seen it once, and it still scarred me enough to where I like it, but I don't know if I had to
I saw that in
rewatch it.
theaters and people left.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Why?
because it's.
I guess I haven't seen it. I don't know
yeah, you
like
should watch
why.
I saw it in theaters at the Oriental, and I usually hate it when people are talking during a movie, but there was this real broy dude with his lady up in front of us, and he's like, yo, so like he's kind of representing what God is, and then she would be like Mother Mary. And it was like I could hear a bro describe Darren Aronofsky films all day.
It's like that meme of the girl at the baseball game and the dude's like talking at her.
That's 100% someone just described it. So that's Adam and Eve, okay? And that's like that's Cain and Abel. And it was so funny. I fucking loved it. My personal experience, I went to film school as well in the Twin Cities, and one of the most wonderful blessings is having a class called Coen Brothers / Tarantino.
That was a class you took?
That was a class I took.
You know, what the fuck? Where was that class at my film school?
It
Not
was
there.
Oh,
It was a 4-hour class. It took place right after happy hour, and there was a bar a block down the street. So I'd go and have a beer or two, and then you go in and you just watch a movie, and then you'd have a smoke break with the teacher, and then you'd go back in and talk about it for 2 hours, and that was the whole class.
Wow.
yeah. And I'll give a quick disclaimer to anybody listening who's thinking about going to film school. Don't do it. Instead, just watch Spielberg, Scorsese, Tarantino, the Coen Brothers. That's like a good basis. Start there. And that's all you really need to do. No one can really teach you how to do art. You just do it.
I think it's still informative. I know that it was. I learned a lot there, and it gave you some places that give you the technology, the tools you need.
The experience with the technology and the technical aspect of filmmaking is definitely a plus side to it. But at least with my film school, they tried to teach you how to be creative, and I feel like that really hampered my creativity moving forward. Looking at everything through the lens of, is it possible to make this? Is it what an audience wants to see? Kind of killed my love for film for a long time. So
I remember when my ding dong teacher told me, you should change your edit this way and cut out some of this, and I said, I edited it right the first time. I like it.
yeah,
And they were unhappy with me, and I'm like, I don't really care.
I pay money to be here.
I was pretty arrogant. Yeah.
Hear me out. You don't need film school. You just need popcorn dogs.
That's all you need.
We're going to start a Skillshare, an extra tier of the Patreon where I just tell you to watch movies, and it'll cost you $500 a month.
Do you want advice from people who were not successful in their college careers?
Listen here, I got 0 credits on IMDb, but this is what you're going to want to do.
I have an IMDb.
I'm supposed to have 1 credit, but I did not participate in the shoot, so that kind of sucked.
No, that's funny. But we had the Coen Brothers class, and the Coen Brothers are some of my favorite directors that I've seen films of. I've voraciously took in all of their films except one. I've loved all of them.
What's that one?
Intolerable Cruelty. They made one romantic comedy that they didn't write the original script for, I believe. And it's starring George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Otherwise, their movies are usually all 10 out of 10. Our cat is named after the Lady Killers film.
Pickles.
We have Pickles, which Lady Killers is criminally underrated.
It is.
It's great.
But yeah, watch all of them. No Country for Old Men is interesting because it's the first film that they made since Lady Killers, I believe, which was 2004. They had taken like a bit of a longer break. And the Coen Brothers, Joel and Ethan, they're from St. Paul. They're known for their films either being fucking screwball, wackadoodle insanity or dramatic, intense pieces of art. And sometimes both at the same time.
Yeah. I think my personal favorite by them is, No Country for Old Men could be argued as my favorite, but Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a masterpiece, and it is a wonderful adaptation of the Odyssey, essentially. And once I learned that, I was so pretentious I let everybody know.
Did you know that only one of the people on the set actually had read the Odyssey, and that was Tim Blake Nelson? The Coen Brothers never read it. They took some of the imagery to like, Cyclops, John Goodman. They really just kind of took the big ideas and just ran with it without actually reading it.
Hell yeah. Way to go, guys.
Or maybe they just said that in an interview because they are total shitheads when people are talking to them. They will not answer any questions, which I do like about the Coen Brothers. Yeah.
Did you know that Oh Brother We're Out Thou is one of the only CDs that Brad has in his car?
It is true.
Yeah.
We got it at a thrift store, and I said, I can't not buy it.
No.
I mean, how else do you get psyched to go to work? You listen to the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Right.
Soggy Bottom. That's coming up in another Popcorn Dogs.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Soggy Bottom.
And we'll work on our impressions.
Yeah. I'm going to have that impression ready to go. All right, let's get into it. Isn't it?
No Country for Old Men. It's based on the book of the same name by Cormac McCarthy, which was released in 2005, quickly snatched up immediately by, I think it was Scott Rubin bought the rights. And the Coen Brothers said, yep, this is actually their first time they've ever done a direct adaptation of a book. Usually they just start from scratch, which is kind of interesting. And it's also interesting the Coen Brothers are known very much for their dialogue and their big characters. In this film, incredibly quiet most of the time. I do enjoy how little is said often.
Yes.
You don't need it.
Mm-mm.
Not in a film like this. I feel like the world building that they did feels so real. A lot of the time, you're not only mesmerized by the incredible cinematography and just the landscape shots at the beginning of the film particularly, and then as the story goes on, you don't need the dialogue when you have just the pure suspense that they've crafted with the three main characters. So you don't really need they have a little bit of narration throughout the film, but other than that, like the kind of stoic approach to Llewelyn and to, I'm bad with names, Javier Bardem's villain, Chigurh.
Anton Chigurh.
Yeah.
A name specifically chosen because it was like you couldn't really pin down what country they were from. They also designed that entire character to kind of look like an alien and just didn't belong anywhere, it worked.
Yeah. The lack of dialogue also kind of reminds me of the old Clint Eastwood films. Like his kind of stoic cowboy presence. Like, yeah. I do it and I don't talk about it and I just give me a whiskey.
Imagine getting the score vinyl of this movie. It's just wind.
Yeah.
And I think they said one of those singing bowls, meditation bowls.
Yeah. I would also be super pumped to just have a wind record. I would probably put that on and just love to listen
Fall
to
asleep.
it. It was great hearing the storm last night.
Yeah.
There is only, I think, 5 or 6 minutes of music in the film, and when it is there, it's incredibly much just background, like you said, meditation bowls.
I have one. I throw my keys in it, and every time I throw my keys in it, it goes whoa.
You should play me the soundtrack from No Country for Old Men sometime.
I got it. The windows are open. I'll go grab my bowl. I'll be right back, okay?
And then Tyler screams in mariachi band in my ear.
Yeah, there we go.
Cinematography for this film was by Roger Deakins. He shot pretty much everything for the Coen Brothers since Miller's Crossing. That's after Miller's Crossing, since that's when Barry Sonnenfeld left to go make the Addams Family films. So good on you, mate.
There we go.
Yep. And he also did the Men in Black movies. Barry Sonnenfeld went off to have a pretty cool career himself. Speaking of the cast, there are 3 main characters, like you said. Who would you say is your favorite of the 3, Carly?
Anton.
You do you like watching Anton?
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating.
What about Anton do you love so much?
So stoic and just so little but so much emotion in his face. Also his hair, it reminds me of Johnny Depp's is that Alice in Water? No, I think it's Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. And every time I see that haircut, I'm like, oof.
Now I just want to see Anton Chigurh and the chocolate factory.
With the
Just
Oompa
making
Loompas.
kids, making kids flip coins, carrying around a cattle killer. It's like this is not the movie I signed up for.
The kids would not voluntarily go into the chocolate river. Let's just say that much.
What's the most you ever lost in the chocolate river?
I have another gumdrop, sir.
Friendo.
Friendo.
About the haircut, the Coens decided to give Chigurh a very distinct hairdo. They got the photo of all places from a picture of a man in a brothel in 1979.
Checks out.
Bardem was not thrilled at first since he actually got the haircut.
Not a good look. I'm not going to lie. Handsome man, but that haircut, I'm like,
It does him no favors.
I don't think that haircut would do anybody favors.
I don't think this role did him any favors either. He did win an Academy Award, but as far as making friends, it would be very weird to hang out with this guy in between takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes from psychopathic force of nature to like, so how are your kids doing? They doing pretty good? How's soccer practice been going?
Well, I know like Daniel Day-Lewis, when he was doing the Lincoln film, like in between takes, he insisted everyone still call him Mr. President, and he just acted like President Lincoln the whole time. That'd be pretty, I'd be about it. I would love to go up there, and I'd bring a Lincoln historian in. I'm like, check this out. You got nothing on him. He probably would, though. Daniel Day-Lewis would actually know everything.
I feel like that would be exhausting because he did the same thing on the Gangs of New York. He was Billy the Butcher, like in between takes.
He learned how to wear a glass contact on his eye and actually tap it with a knife.
Yes, that is gnarly.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an eye ulcer.
Yeah. Well, and he's played people with like physical deficiencies as well. And he just would have someone actually like take care of him and clean him for a few months.
My left foot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude's intense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can try acting.
No,
Yeah.
he is that character.
He becomes.
It sounds like
He becomes the character.
Yeah, he takes method acting to a new extreme. And then you have people like Shia LaBeouf, like on the set for Fury. He like refused to bathe, so he smelled like ass.
Great.
The scars on his face were real, like he cut himself with a knife. Like there's doing it and doing it wrong. I don't know where you draw the line.
Jared Leto does it wrong.
Well, when you send used condoms to famous celebrities, that's a little fucked up.
When you send used condoms to anyone, it's pretty fucked up. When you send,
Yeah, that's true.
When you send non-used condoms to somebody, that's probably fucked up.
Now I
Yeah.
know where.
Depending on context.
Yeah.
What? He did that?
Jared Leto did. He also sent,
I knew I didn't like him just because of like the way he is. I didn't know he did that. It's terrible.
Just
he also would
fundamentally.
send dead animals to his castmates and
And
stuff.
like bullets, he sent bullets to people. I think he sent bullets to Will Smith or Margot Robbie.
Then he had the Joker's hand, like mouth on his hand. He went, ha, ha, ha.
Was this like a form of method acting?
It was
for
him trying to be the
or-
Joker and scare
Yeah.
people.
No.
When he did the mouth thing with the tattoo on his hand, I not only felt physically sick because it is
Yeah.
the cringiest thing I've ever seen, but I almost got up out of the theater.
Damaged.
Yeah. I was damaged after that performance.
That should have been a tattoo everyone got on the way out.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten food poisoning from watching a film? Because I did.
Oh.
You got dude poisoning from watching Jared Leto. Dude poisoning is terrible. According to a January 2018 article in the Business Insider, a group of psychiatrists studied 400 different films regarding psychopathic characters. They chose Javier Bardem's portrayal of Anton Chigurh is the most clinically accurate portrayal of a psychopath in any of the films they saw. Emotionless, the way he carried himself, the way he responded to people.
Hear me out. No anxiety, no depression.
He's got it.
That's it.
That sounds fantastic.
What?
But also no friendos, which might
I don't like that part.
yeah friendo. Sorry, I actually that's sometimes the dialogue becomes a part of my life, and sometimes I call people friendos still, and I don't. I should start saying it more like Anton to fuck with people, but
I was on the phone with my mom on the way over here, and I said, I don't know shit about fuck, which is a line from Ozark that is phenomenal, and you should use it every time you don't know something.
I try. Or I'll do from Glass Onion. I'm very bad at dumb things.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm bad at stupid things.
Yeah, I put it on a coffee mug at work, and people are like, "What does that say?" And I'm like, Don't ask me to do anything.
Clue is a stupid game.
Stupid.
Could you imagine if I was in a cubicle and they came over and they were like, Tyler, we need to talk about your coffee mug. Like, what's wrong with it? Does
And
it say
you sit up and you have the bob haircut.
Yeah, it says I don't know shit about fuck, and it's like this is an adult atmosphere. You're crossing some lines here. Also, I need that TPS report by 5. So
Thank you. Mine would be a performance review. Like, your mug lies. You're bad at good things.
You didn't say you were good at good things. You just said you were bad at stupid
At
things.
dumb things, yeah.
You could be horrible at everything.
Right. They don't know. Everything's just dumb in my
You got to play some cards close to the chest. So that's one of our main characters. Who's another one?
we have Tommy Lee Jones playing Llewelyn. It is our...
No, he's not. He's playing Ed Tom Bell. Josh Brolin plays.
Oh, that's what I meant. My bad.
You want to do Josh Brolin?
Yeah, Josh Brolin. Okay. I looked down at the case and saw Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And it was my bad.
Oh, I didn't even...
Yeah, no, Llewelyn is our forced perspective, our forced protagonist, the honorable cowboy, so to speak. Really good character, in my opinion. It's kind of the strong silent type. He is nice to the people he cares about. He's even nice to a dying man after second guessing himself.
Saying he's nice to people is interesting. He's so sparse with his words, but he comes in, doesn't explain anything to his wife about what happened, and she's like, "What'd you get?" And he's like, "I'll take you in the back and screw you."
Yeah,
and
you don't know their dynamic,
but it is right? Like they're perfectly matched for each other, and he is nice, but it's just interesting that he doesn't give anything to people he doesn't like.
Yes, and he's very honorable. After doing a dishonest thing, he is forced to do an honorable thing that almost gets him killed at the end of the film when the lady is like, "Hey, I got some bears over here," and he's like, "I'm waiting on my wife." Like it seems he has a code and he lives by it. And although we don't explore it too much in the film, they do a good job of putting across that this is the good guy. This is the guy that you should root for.
I would maybe disagree.
That's the way that I've interpreted it, and I've seen the film now like 3 or 4 times.
He's a good guy.
I thought he was a good guy.
The good guy is Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I say that Josh Brolin is our forced protagonist, because I feel like Tommy Lee Jones' character is actually the main character of the whole film.
To me, I see 3 characters. I see evil, I see neutral, and I see good. Josh Brolin is making... Josh Brolin, his character is great. Llewelyn is awesome. He is incredibly equipped to handle situations, and he's still way in over his head in this. He's 10 out of 10 smart. I would be incredibly intimidated by this guy.
But not serial killer smart.
No.
Or psychopath.
But it's like, you didn't even look all into your money satchel. Like, you just checked the top little bits. It's kind of on you that there was that tracker in there.
Yeah, and that you also got to think, though, this film takes place in, 1980?
Yep.
That kind of technology is probably not something that a cowboy, because I'm just going to use the term cowboy. Yeah. We don't know what he does for a living, but he seems pretty self-sufficient. Well, he's hunting at the beginning of the film.
Carson Wells though says, "Do you find the transponder?" He's like, "Yep." He's like, "What? Do you know what a transponder is?" Like, "I know what one is." He gets defensive. He's a Vietnam vet, so he is familiar with
that is true
with technology.
But in the moment, in the 80s, maybe that's not something that you first think of. And him being as smart as he is,
dude, he
knows somebody's coming looking for it. So maybe it's, I need to get the fuck out of here as fast as possible.
He's 99% smart in what he does. Like when he's coming up on the Ultimo Hombre and he sees the body just sitting under the tree, he looks at his watch and then he waits for like I forget what it was, like at least 20 minutes just to make sure no movement happens.
Yeah.
He's smart until he's moral.
Yeah.
Because much like the real world, any good thing you do is immediately punished.
Yeah. And I agree with your 3 main characters. I don't see them as good, evil, and neutral. I see them as man and nature and change is the way that I chose to view it. And him being man against this unstoppable force of nature that is Anton.
Well, I figure I would put Anton as change.
I would put Tommy Lee Jones as change.
Yeah, I thought Tommy Lee
Jones is man confronting change. That's the whole point of the opening monologue. He's like comparing yourself to old timers and feeling outmatched and not able to live up to what the youth are doing. It's like the ultimate story arc for Tommy Lee Jones is to face change and decide to still go on.
Yeah. I mean, that's why
it's really the themes of the film.
Yes, and that's why it's such a good movie, because it's just a normal thriller at the base, but there is so much subcontext that you can read between the lines and try to interpret. You could put your spin on this however you want, and you could even try to justify. I mean, we talked that he's an alien, but there's actual theories that Anton is a legitimate alien, not from the planet. And do I believe that? No.
No, that's just some fun clickbait stuff, though.
But it's like you could draw a couple parallels and almost make it make sense.
I knowed you was crazy when I walked in. I knowed it. There's the dialogue. Getting back to dialogue, the stuff the Coen Brothers do end up writing for this is just awesome. Like they have no wasted words, and their characters are all fantastic. And some of them are there for one scene, and it just blows me away at how good they are. When he's getting the hotel room, and she's like, "You choose the applicable rate according to the room." And then he's like, "All right, I'll take that one. But it's got 2 double beds."
Yeah.
Like, I laugh every time I see that.
The lady who's like, "I can't give out no personal information."
That little, like, kind of, she plays like the white trash matronish character standing up to Chigurh.
Yeah. And so I was born in Arkansas. My grandparents, who I'm very close with, live in Arkansas. I spent a month of my life growing up every summer in Arkansas. I know Arkansas South pretty well. When I was raised, I had a Southern accent. That's how I learned to talk. I would be like, "Hey, Ma, can I get some more dog and moo juice?" Like, that was my
I was surprised
vocabulary.
So what did you just ask for, though?
Hot dogs and chocolate milk.
Okay.
I was surprised when we hung out with your mom the other day to hear her accent. She does have a nice Southern drawl.
Yes, and
really?
that's a big part of, like, I guess my culture, because that's a lot of where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And that woman who's like, "I can't give out no personal information." I know that woman. I've talked to that one, not the actress, but I've talked to 100 women like that in little podunk Arkansas towns. Like, "Will that be all for you, sugar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you fucking, you're making me blush. Just give me my high life, please."
Where does he work?
Thank you.
I can't tell you that. Where does he work?
Yeah.
I cannot give out any personal information.
She's one of the only people that stands up to him in the film. And he does have like a perverted code where he plays by a certain rule book. And she won't give up the information. And he won't force her to do something that's outside of, like, his code. And
I think, like, his nature is to just kill people, right? Like, he could have brought in his cattle gun and been like, "Boom, give me the information." Slash, "Let me just go look through your books real quick." But then he heard, like, the toilet flush, and he was like, and he looked back. He was like, "You know, I could have just killed you, but I'm not gonna because there's another person here." I don't know what I don't know.
I agree. I think that risk is something that he was taking into effect.
But also, he just would have killed that other person too. He doesn't care.
No, because he's a vicious killer. She stands up to him, and then he tries to, like, come back at her, and she gives like a puffing up her chest, like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "All right," like
beating on her chest.
He's smart, calculated, and he does have some sort of, like, playbook.
The people that he kills are people that are trying to identify him. When he goes to the gas station, he's like, "You getting any weather, any rain up there?"
Boom.
And when he goes in to kill Stephen Root's manager character, and the other guy's like, "I'm just an accountant. You going to shoot me?" Then he turns around and looks at him. "Did you see me?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, no."
Yarp.
I did.
Yarp.
I'm not going to be able to unsee that now. How is everything over there? Narp.
He's not going to get back up, right? Tommy Lee, speaking of people you know, Tommy Lee Jones plays every one of my dad's friends who disapproved of me skateboarding. He plays everyone that just quietly looked at me and thought I was a dumb kid. He is the coolest old Texas sheriff you'll ever see.
Yeah.
He is one cool customer. You think Josh Brolin doesn't, like, ever talk. Tommy Lee Jones doesn't say anything unless it's to kind of be a little bit of a smartass with people.
Yeah, or talk about how horrible the world is.
Oh, I just love it. you want to, what is it? Like the FBI are going to go out to the crime scene. You want to go out there? He's like, is there any more bodies? He's like, then I guess I don't need to go. He's a cool customer. And I love the way he approaches situations. He has the younger deputy with him. And the other guy's like all like talking almost like kind of doofy about it. And he lets the other guy explain everything. And then he just agrees. He doesn't like give out information. He kind of plays it pretty close to the chest. Ed Tom, he starts out the movie with the monologue. And he's talking about you can't help but compare yourself to the old timers and about how things are getting out of control. It's bringing just the title right into the film, like No Country for Old Men. Things are changing, and he's starting to feel outmatched, and cut right to Anton Chigurh has been captured by this police officer, and he got him. So he clearly did something right. And then he's just the biggest idiot ever and just sits him down behind him on a bench while he's talking to another guy like, oh, I got him. He had some sort of air compressor, though. And yeah, as soon as he hangs up, the most vicious murder you'll ever see.
I wrote a paper on that scene in film school because it is excellent. Like a use of, I guess, set design is what it would be. The black scuff marks on the white tile from the struggle are incredibly powerful. The fact that the guy starts bleeding from his neck and Anton is bleeding from his wrists, it makes the film so incredibly realistic. And the guy sitting with his back to Anton, I mean, it makes sense for the predicament he believes he's in because he doesn't have a weapon. He's got something you would see on a farm all the time with the way they kill cattle. So who knows what he got picked up for? I'm assuming probably something not super intense.
Could have been in a stolen car.
Yeah, he lets his guard down. He's like, this guy's just this weird, quiet, big dude with a cattle killer.
It's very weird that he is caught at the beginning.
It's a weird way to start it, but it's
he's so like cold and calculating the way he just quietly like slides it under his feet and just he's a big dude. To walk that quietly is impressive.
And that's something that he does several times in the film. At one point, he'll even take off his boots to be quieter.
The only thing that weirded me out about him, besides everything, is when he goes in and he kills the gang members, and then he removes his socks on the crime scene and throws them. I don't know why he takes his socks off there, and that bothered me this time.
In the hotel?
Yeah, because I understand he wants to keep his shoes clean. I get all that. And you're quieter when you take your boots off, too.
Yeah,
but
I don't
the
know.
way that he takes his socks off was weird to me. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't have anything on that.
But we...
wet socks are uncomfortable? Because they're probably soaked in blood?
Yeah, I don't know. And DNA wasn't as big of a thing back then, so maybe he wasn't as concerned.
He was just like, these are nasty.
The killer
socks
left
now.
a toenail.
Yeah. And another cool thing from that scene that I didn't notice until I watched a little video that one of my commentary YouTube channels did on it is I always thought he was checking the room for more guys after he kills those 3 guys. And he's not. He's
looking for money.
He's checking the layout of the room so he knows where they could be hiding in the next room.
Because he goes up to that one wall and he feels it to feel how thin it is. So he knows he can shoot right through that. Which he does immediately after he takes the first guy out.
He goes into the closet, turns the light on, and looks like it's not big enough to hold a guy around the corner.
And it's great the way he just barges in, just like his mind just tracks where he thinks guys are going to be. That's great.
Yeah, that was a detail that I did not notice and that they pointed out. And I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Some of the subtle things are really nice. You don't need to have Llewelyn explain that he's a master hunter or a smart guy. You see him take one shot, pick up the shell, put it in his pocket. You see the way he approaches situations calmly. It's very effective storytelling, and it's all visual, which film students salivate after that stuff.
Yeah.
So he finds $2.4 million. He finds the money. He brings it back. He brings the guns back. He hides them. We mentioned he doesn't mention anything to Carla Jean. Actually, he says straight up, it's a bunch of money.
Yeah.
What did he? I found
what's in the satchel? Bunch of money.
Where'd you get it? From the taking place.
From the getting place.
From the getting place. That's it. Yeah.
Where were you? Don't matter. You keep running that mouth, I'm gonna take you in the back and screw you. And then she goes, big talk.
Yeah. My favorite line is, well, what am I gonna tell Mama? And we'll start by standing in the door and saying, Mama, I'm home. He's like so matter of fact.
He goes, you and I, we're gonna fly out of the country, but first have to take care of this thing. She's like, what about Mama? She'll be fine.
Yeah.
I got the cancer. And then she says something else to him. She's like, fine, I don't want to talk to you anyways. And he goes, that'll work.
Yeah.
I very much get the feeling that Josh Brolin's character is like the younger Tommy Lee Jones character. It's where Tommy Lee Jones might have been at a younger point of his life trying to be a little more gung-ho and face problems and make big decisions. Whereas an old man, he doesn't bring his gun out when he's going. He's like, I'm hiding behind you.
Yeah. He also makes a comment at the beginning of the movie, doesn't he? That he was sheriff the same time his daddy was sheriff in another county, and that he was proud of it, and he likes to think his father was too.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that always kind of stuck with me with his character, because it's like I could see him being Llewelyn being the younger version of him, but I think he would have been even more gung-ho trying to space himself from the old timers. Like, there was the guys that wouldn't take a gun with him, and maybe that's something that he does in his later years, but at the time he probably would have had an AK, a rifle, 2 handguns, and been like, all right, let's do this. My daddy's one county over.
I love the dialogue. I was like, Gaston Boykins didn't carry a gun. He was an old timer up there. And I was reading the facts today. Gaston Boykins was a real sheriff in like one of the cities they mentioned at the time.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is just a name the Coen Brothers would use, though. Gaston Boykins.
That is a pretty good name.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
I think Llewelyn, our Ed Tom might feel a little bit of like fatherly needing to take care of Llewelyn too, because he sees like maybe a younger version of himself in there, because he very much makes it his mission to take care of him.
Yeah.
And this is a film where our 3 main characters barely ever see each other. Only, I don't know if they're ever in the same shot as far as Chigurh and Llewelyn. It's close, but
the one thing that this film does really good is the realism that if somebody is hunting you, they are going to hunt you. They aren't going to James Bond it up when they get their chance to give you, this is my plan all along. Well, I have you here, Mr. Bond. Like, Chigurh is there to murder him and is attempting to murder him 100% of the time. There's no coin flip for Llewelyn. There's no dancing around the subject. It is, I am going to find you and kill you. And Llewelyn is trying to get away. And
he is trying to get away at first, but once he realizes that he knows who he is and he's coming, he's like, we can't even fly to another country because this guy will come. Mm-hmm. So he decides he does want to make a stand. And he still just gets immediately outmatched because he's sitting there in that hotel room and he's like just waiting. He doesn't expect a fucking cattle pistol to shoot a lock at him. Just shoot him right.
Could you imagine how bad that would hurt?
Yeah.
Well, and Ed Tom is so quiet and smart. When he goes to their trailer, he just he sees the lock punched out, and then he goes and he looks right across where it was and sees the indent on there. And you can just see him always piecing things together, and he just never talks. He goes, "Oh, Sheriff, shit, we just missed him, Sheriff."
Yeah.
What the milk is sweating.
It's still sweating. Well, we got to put out a call. For what, a man who recently drank milk?
Yeah. We don't know shit, dog.
What do you want us to say?
Also, quick side note, the guy who plays the deputy is
Dillahunt.
Yeah, is the lazy eye guy from season 1 of Deadwood, which I'm currently watching. And I spent a large portion of my rewatch last night on No Country for Old Men looking at that guy going, where the fuck do I know you from? And it was hard to pay attention to scenes at a certain point. I'm like, I know you from somewhere.
They even shot the damn dog. That's a dead dog. Yep.
Yarp.
Yarp.
And then he's a good guy, Llewelyn, because he wakes up in the middle of the night thinking about this guy not having any water. And he makes what is like a bad decision for what he's like. It's good to be moral, But to go return to a crime scene you think you got away from. Also, if he hadn't gone back, he probably wouldn't have found that transponder until too late. So it might have been the only reason he survived as long as he did.
It's the nihilism in the film, in my opinion, that is kind of shows through that nothing really matters because he gets away with an immoral act. Taking the money is immoral, essentially, at its very foundation, even if it is drug money. Not reporting the crime is immoral. You can get into
leaving the guy without water is immoral. I think the most immoral.
But then, it's not like he had water.
Yeah, but still, like he could have just gone in or like made an anonymous phone call, like, "Hey, someone's out there. I think there might have been a crime," and then just hang up. I don't know. There would have been a way to get some water out to him without maybe putting himself in danger. I don't know.
But the fact that he's not punished for doing an immoral thing, and then he chooses to do the moral thing, and then he's almost immediately killed by the cartel.
Jamie Lannister.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Comes back to Jamie Lannister.
It's a very smart movie too, because he's getting chased by the dog. He gets out of the water. First thing he does is he like pulls apart the pistol and like blows the water out of it.
Yeah,
while the dog is fucking sprinting at him. Imagine your focus while there's a pit bull charging.
And you can see it too after he ejects the shell and he blows out the chamber. When he's putting the magazine back in to rack another round, his hand is shaking. It's very subtle, and it's like the panic, and he almost misses it his first time, and then it goes in, and then he has to rack a bullet, and then he just... The only thing I find slightly, and it's nitpicking at this point, the slightly unrealistic is that you'd have two hands on that pistol when you shot that. Like, he gets up in full, like, movie pose, you know, like, one hand, shoulder out, like, bomb.
But you just went, like...
Yeah, but you're right there. You just racked it, stand up, and, you know...
Didn't he just get shot in the left arm, though?
Shit, did he?
He did get shot.
No, he got shot in the left shoulder. Yeah, so that makes sense. He wouldn't use it. Yeah. Fucking egg on my face.
Well,
the light.
Silent shotguns didn't exist in 1980, so that's okay too. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Blinded by Dylan's forehead.
I'm looking for Llewelyn Moss.
Did you go up to his trailer?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'd say he's at work. Do you want to leave a message?
Where does he work?
I can't say.
Where does he work?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to give out no information about our residents.
Where does he work?
Did you not hear me? We can't give out no information.
Inglourious Bastards.
Maybe my favorite Tarantino film.
It is by far not even close my favorite.
Hateful Eight, though.
Hateful Eight grew on me a lot, but...
Every time I watch it, I like it more.
Same. But Inglourious Bastards is, if there's a 10 out of 10, it's a 45 out of 10. That is just a fucking perfect movie.
So Llewelyn, he goes to buy 10 poles. Well, first he hides his he hides the money. He gets to a hotel. He hides the money. Chigurh has claimed a transponder from the other two gentlemen who make him sit bitch. Which that's got to be an awkward car ride.
Well, you knew he was going to kill him. Like the moment, like you don't mind riding bitch, right?
I don't want to sit next to that man.
I wouldn't want him
There's one seat left.
me.
There's one seat left on the bus. I get off the bus.
Yeah, there will be another one. Just grab the next one.
Yeah.
That guy's haircut scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The choices that led up to that haircut.
Yeah. He must cut his own hair.
Well, you think about it, and this is just me pulling something straight out of my ass right now. Okay. It makes sense.
Wow, that's huge. How'd you get that in there?
Oh, man.
Sorry, if you can't see it and you're listening, folks. Sorry.
It's heavy. No, he probably cut his hair like that because his hair was in his eyes, and he doesn't give a fuck what his hair looks like. He's like, just get the shit out of my eyes. I got to be able to shoot my cattle killer.
Maybe he also likes to have it long in case he needs to cut it to like instant secret identity.
Yeah, he could.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe he just saw someone with that one time. He's like, that's cool.
He also, I don't think, cares about secret identity because he walks into the police station headquarter thing and just kills that guy behind his desk and then is just like very nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things he does when he has been shot by Llewelyn later in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He got a shirt, cotton balls, put it in the gas tank, put it back in, lit it on fire. Boom. Just casually walks into the pharmacy, like nothing. And then he knows it's going to blow up and everybody's going to go running. And he goes and steals all of the stuff he needs for his wound. And I'm like, what a guy.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
It makes me very uncomfortable watching him clean his wounds, but I'm impressed.
It's almost like he probably has experience doing that.
Yeah.
And also, if there's a car on fire outside of a business, I can attest. I've seen it. I worked at a Chipotle once,
Did
and
you go running?
a car caught on fire.
No,
in our
Tyler
parking
ran
lot.
in and made some Chipotle.
I was the grill guy, and I flipped some chicken, and everybody's in line ordering. We were very busy, and I went, "That car's on fire," and I pointed, and no one heard me, and I went, "That car's on fire," and then my cashier was like, "I'm not going to scream," but she screamed, "The car's on fire." Then everybody paid attention. You know what people did? They ran right up to the glass to watch the car burn.
Sure.
Yeah.
The car was like from me to Carly away from the window. I'm like, you should maybe get back.
Cars
Yeah.
explode.
That shit's got gas in it
Right.
and oil. And I've played enough video games. I can shoot that thing. And
Also, we've seen too
Just
many.
twice.
We've seen too many movies though. Cars don't always just blow up like that.
Yeah, that's true. Played way too many Grand Theft Auto games.
They even make a comment about that when Ed Tom is trying to track down Chigurh, who just keeps changing cars. He's like, you wouldn't think a car would burn like that. So clearly, Chigurh has done something with the car to like more intensely burn it.
He Walter Whited it. He took the squeegee and put it on the battery terminal.
Reminded me of something else I love about Chigurh. When he's out there at the crime scene and he wants to like pry off the VIN number, he goes, "You got a Scroogey?"
Yeah, that's right.
And I want to say Scroogey at work, but I will never.
should.
I would never live that down. Hey, Kale, you got a Scroogey?
You should.
gotta-
See what he does. It's just kale.
He would Ed Tom the shit out of me. What now? Just give me that disapproving look that I am so used to.
You're fired. Go home.
Does a grown man talk like that?
Scroogey.
That's when you pull your pants up to your nipples. You go, "He does now. Give me the goddamn Scroogey."
Give me that Scrooge.
Give me the Scroogey.
And then you grab the Scroogey from him and you point at him and you go, "Look at me. I'm the captain now."
Yes.
Well, our hero.
Take charge of your Scroogies.
I'm gonna come up with cute names for all my tools. And find a new job. He claims his tent poles, though. He realizes that he is in the thick of it there. So there's the shootout that happens at the motel with Chigurh and this other gang. Chigurh becomes very angry here because he learns that somebody else has a transponder tracker. Which the only way to get that is if you like are working for the same people. So he is very upset.
He's been outsourced.
He's just there's multiple tools hired for the job.
Yeah.
Luckily, our homeboy Llewelyn got a room across the backside of the place, so he was okay. He heard the shit going down. He knows he's in there pretty
Isn't
bad,
he-
and you can see him thinking. He's like, "Nope, there's just no way," because he's trying to think of how the fuck could they have known to come here. Well, Chigurh, apart from the transponder, the first thing he does is with the VIN number, tracks down where Llewelyn lives, goes to his place, gets a phone bill, calls every number, finds the one person that sounds more familiar with Llewelyn, not like a business or a spot like that. Odessa, Texas, drives to Odessa with the transponder, and that's how he winds up close enough to it. It's just methodical, intense.
That's why I feel like he's just a force of nature the entire film. He is just doing what he needs to do, and anybody who gets in his way is either taken out or given the chance of a coin flip.
Yes.
I was going to say, and you don't see him eat, but you do. He eats that bag of peanuts.
Yeah, and he almost chokes on it when the guy's you married into this?
That was one of the only times you really see him offended, too.
Yeah.
We used to belong to my wife's father.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you think that's where he got some sympathy for this man? He was like, wait. This wasn't like passed down. You wanted to do this? You married into this?
I think he was more offended that he is taking somebody else's legacy, or like he didn't build it himself. He is just inheriting something. And I think that's the vibe I got.
Oh.
I don't know.
I could see that, yeah. I thought there might have been some weird, like, sexist view where, like, the man is supposed to provide and
he got it
legacy
from-
kind of factors into that. But at the same time, he doesn't outright, like the one woman that stands up to him, he doesn't even like force the coin flip. So it probably is legacy and has nothing to do with the gender of the hand-me-down.
Yeah. He's offended, though, regardless.
Yeah.
Choking on his cashews.
That guy you could tell he gets immediate horrible vibes from him, too. He's just scared.
Yeah, he's like, I got to close. What time do you close? Dark? He's like...
What time to go to bed?
Yeah, I forgot about that. What time do you go to bed? About 9 o'clock.
Should I come back then? Well, we'll be closed.
You live in that house back there?
And then he does the coin toss. Don't just put it in your pocket. That's your lucky quarter. It'll just get lost to their coins, which it is.
Yeah,
just another
the mind game there, because the coin, it always to me felt like the coin to him is just like chance. It's like you recognize my license plate from Dallas, you could be a threat, but you're not a big enough threat, so I'll give you the benefit of a coin toss.
It's fate meets chance. It's like
But at the same time, it means nothing to him, but it means everything to the guy who has no idea what he would have lost on the coin toss. And that's his little fuck you, almost tongue-in-cheek moment where it's like, you have no idea how close you came.
To death.
But it doesn't matter because you'll never know. You might suggest, you might think it and after you think about it for a while, but like that's your lucky coin, don't lose it or lose it. It doesn't really matter.
Because he knows that it's also just a coin and doesn't matter. But... the act of it has made it incredibly important to him. Strange guy, that Chigurh. Strange fella. Woody Harrelson just walks into the film. I love it.
Woody Harrelson is probably one of the few people on the face of the planet that could vlog every day, and I'd watch it.
He vlogs?
No, if he did, I'd be like, what's Woody up to today?
I mean, he may be thinking about starting a podcast.
I would love that.
He recently made a bunch of like anti-masker comments on SNL,
Fuck.
which got him into some heat.
Anti what? I'm sorry.
Anti-masker comments. And before they had what I would only consider an ill-advised skit for the hippo, which was making fun of the whale.
Oh, I didn't see it. They just make fun of fat people?
It was about how the film got canceled, and everyone's like, oh, but I studied so hard for this role. And he's like, yeah, and I put on 800 pounds. And the other guy's like, oh, this sucks. I cut my hair. And he's like, I put on 800 pounds.
They just roll Christian Bale in as like the little blueberry girl, like, hold my beer.
Have you seen The Machinist?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a terrifying one.
Yeah, that is a scary movie. Christian Bale looks like a zombie.
And that was right before or after The Dark Knight.
Before Batman Begins.
Or Batman Begins,
And then he did Rescue
Then he got too
Dawn.
fat for Batman Begins.
He got really big for Batman Begins. I think he was like 205 pounds. And he was like 110, 120 for The Machinist.
Yeah.
So he put on like almost 100 pounds of muscle. And then he lost it for Rescue Dawn. And then he did The Dark Knight again. And then he did The Boxer.
And then he played Dick Cheney.
Yeah, which also great movie.
He looked great. I haven't seen it.
I just like his performance. That's Adam McKay, right? I think so. The guy who did The Big Short. I think it's the same guy.
Yeah.
I think his name's Adam McKay.
He does a lot of the comedies.
Yeah, he did Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. I could be getting him confused with like 3 other people right now, but we're going to give all those film credits to him right now.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah. But Carson Wells walks in, and Woody Harrelson does kind of play himself. We learn in a throwaway bit of dialogue that he was a retired Vietnam, not corporal. He was up high. He's an up high guy. And he's another tool. He's one of the only people that has claimed to have met Chigurh and knows his face.
He also kind of embodies the disconnect from like the government and the bigwigs to the people like the boots on the ground. Like he is he looks the part, but he's very fancy. He's the FBI guy. He's from the city, and that kind of shows for me that he's got this disconnect from the core people that are involved in this, like the small town country kind of people.
He's not a small town country guy. He's a numbers guy in a big way. He has that really scary comment where he's like, I was counting the numbers on your building on the way and it's missing a floor.
It's probably the 13th floor because it's bad luck to have a 13th floor in a building. But
no, it's true. But I think that there was I think there was an extra floor.
What about the tiny
So it would have been
floor
the tiny floor
from being John Malkovich? Where does that fit in?
13.5.
They jammed the elevator door open. Love that film.
Yeah. They're going to remake it with Chris Pratt eventually.
My buddy on April Fool's Day posted, fuck, they're remaking A Clockwork Orange, and they had the Dahmer kid playing him. And he was like screaming, no. I was like,
Evan Peters.
I'm like, it's April 1st. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it seemed real though, right? And I said, no.
No.
It looked like a very obvious
Believe
April Fool's
nothing.
joke. Yeah.
That would
Ever.
be the worst movie to remake.
There's just no point.
I mean, not
Really?
only would you get canceled so fast remaking that movie, but how do you perfect perfection?
Also, you don't make that movie these days.
No, you don't. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to kill her after maybe attempted rape with a giant penis sculpture. And they're going to be like,
We're going to
no.
turn it into a comedy.
Yeah. We're going to, it's starring Ed Helms in the lead role. We're going to make it a buddy cop.
Don't worry, it's all about Beethoven. The lovely Ludwig van. Our characters have a fight. Llewelyn does get the upper hand after he gets a couple people killed. He jumps in that guy's truck. He's like, don't worry, I ain't going to hurt you. And the guy gets shot in the throat.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And then, he starts driving the truck and like 10 bullets fly through the windshield. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
He's just lucky the dead dude was on the accelerator. Otherwise, that car would have stopped.
He kicks the guy's foot over and puts his own foot down.
Damn.
Yeah.
I missed that.
He thinks fast. He does think fast. But at one point, he gets the advantage. He gets Chigurh's gun away from him and shoots him. And that's awesome. That's the first time that you've seen him like get up, charge at Chigurh, and get the upper hand. But they're both pretty badly hurt at this point. So he does what anyone would do, just run to Mexico, I guess.
You're that close.
For their premium healthcare.
Oh, yes. Mariachi bands.
Yes.
I don't. I think he might have probably just wanted to see a mariachi band.
It really could have been.
Yeah.
There's a deleted scene where he leaves the hospital and he goes, "Donde está mi cerveza, por favor?" And then he goes and gets a beer. And that's the extent of my Spanish.
And then he just like sees a mariachi band, he's just laughing. He's like, "This is great."
And he's like, "Oh fuck, my $2.2 million."
And then he checks his watch, like, "Gotta go." So I didn't realize that he might have went down to Mexico for cheap healthcare and like off the books healthcare. I thought he was going across the border because he didn't think Chigurh would cross the border after him.
Because he knows he can't fly anywhere. I felt like he went to Mexico because if he goes anywhere in the States, they're going to ask questions. If he goes to a Mexican hospital, he might slide under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
And being a U.S. citizen,
Gringo.
he can just pop right back.
What's your last name? I don't have one. Gringo Solo.
Gringo Solo.
That's what they put his name down.
Was it really?
No, that's a joke about Han Solo, the movie.
Oh.
Got no family. Han Solo. That guy writes it down and felt very clever.
Yeah, that name's going to follow you forever.
I can't call you Chewbacca every time. I'm going to call you Chewie. Beautiful. Like Ron Howard was giggling when he wrote that line. Or whoever wrote it. Yeah, but he also realized he can't carry $2.4 million into Mexico. So he's in a pickle. He first has to pay some dude for his shirt. There's that one nice friend in every group. He's like,
Give him your shirt.
No, the first guy, he sells the shirt, and then he's like, give me that beer. And he's like, how much you got for it?
Just give him your beer.
Ryan, just give him the beer.
Also, I didn't realize the underlying theme of greed outside of like Llewelyn taking the money and wanting it for himself. But there's multiple instances where it pops up.
Yeah.
Where you have Woody Harrelson trying, like, I'll take you to an ATM, $14,000.
You see Chigurh's mind, he's like, an ATM?
Yeah. You have the guy, he buys the shirt, and then the guy wants more money for the beer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the film, when Chigurh's in the car accident and he pays the kid for his shirt, as he's walking away, the kids argue for the $100.
But also,
part of that's mine.
Also, the kid though, the guy's like, he's like offering him money for. She's like, heck, man, I'll give you my shirt. He gives him the shirt, not expecting money. And then he gets money, and then they start arguing about money.
Yeah.
So as soon as money's involved, then
you still got
friendships
your shirt.
start deteriorating. Yeah,
And
got your shirt.
It's such a good, like, if I was the kids and I lost my shirt, that's my $100. If I'm the other kid who's with the friend who lost his shirt, I'm for sure going, half of that's mine, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I told you we should take a left on Taylor. We would have never even been on this street.
Put the money in his hand, and he'll give you the shirt.
My mom's gonna be pissed.
I think it really calls in two of the themes of the film, because at the very end, if the film's themes haven't been obvious enough, they have Ed Tom explain in dreams the themes of the film.
Yeah.
And the first one, he said something about meeting his father somewhere about some money he lost. So it's just straight up money is just the point. Part of the point is driving people and driving problems.
I mean, I always viewed the film, even after the first time I watched it, greed and nihilism was always the two words that I would use to explain this film.
Two double beds is how I describe it.
Sorry. Greed is, it's like a good love story. Most films have a love interest because love is something that everybody can associate with. They've either felt it or they long for it. It's a primal human emotion that we either chase or have. So having a good love story in a film is going to resonate with your audience. It's going to draw them in. Greed is another one. Although people may not be inherently greedy, everybody can understand what $2.2 million would do for them if they found it in the circumstances that Llewelyn found it.
Yeah.
And then taking that baseline for everybody's going to be able to understand the stakes of this game, adding this nihilistic approach to it where there's very little dialogue, everything's very stoic. It just all comes together in a perfect clusterfuck of a just an absolute thriller banger from the Coen Brothers.
I always want to go back to one of the most core human emotions too, fear. To me, this is about fear of the unknown. The greatest fear that one of the first emotions human beings ever had was fear. Fear of what's coming in the night, fear of losing your life, of pain, of loss. Fear is eternally baked into who we are. And Ed Tom at the very beginning is just talking about the fear of things he can't keep up with, things that are changing. And the whole time he's just feeling like he's not able to be a part of this world anymore because he doesn't understand it. And the very end of the film, when he is going back into that hotel room, it turns into Schrodinger's Anton Chigurh a little bit, where that hotel room either does or doesn't have a monster inside of it. And he doesn't, he has to face his fear and decide he wants to try and still do something in this world, do good. And luckily, fucking the cat was dead. It's not in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think fear is another core emotion I get in the film. But Chigurh kills Woody Harrelson. Carla Jean finally runs into Ed Tom, and Ed Tom says, your man's in trouble. I'm going to help him. So Ed Tom is finally able to catch up to the hotel where Llewelyn is staying, and we see the gang members fleeing the crime. And Ed Tom, rather than driving after the fleeing villains, he's there just to save Llewelyn. He is looking out for his friend. He knows him. I don't know if I call him a friend, but he feels responsible for him, and he goes in, and Llewelyn is dead.
Like you put it, his younger self.
His younger self.
Yeah.
As referenced by Men in Black 3. Because he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
And it's interesting that, what was your first thoughts when our main character died off screen?
I was like, that's not him. No way. That's not how movies work.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember being very upset too to not see Llewelyn actually die the first time.
I was excited.
Ooh, Tyler likes chaos.
I do. It is. I mean, especially when I saw this film, I had just been introduced to the concept of nihilism, and as an angsty little My Chemical Romance, and that's the first reference.
Are you talking about yesterday?
Oh yeah, no.
Because when you were an angsty little My Chemical Romance. Oh, you're talking about another time.
Yeah, we're going back a ways.
Younger Tyler.
Like 2 days ago?
A couple, 2, 3, 4, 10 years.
Okay. A marriage ago.
Yeah. I was, when I first encountered nihilism as a concept, I was very smitten with it because I was like, this is fucking awesome. Nothing matters. And I'm just emo and awesome. But
I love it.
having him die off screen is like the biggest kind of FU if the film does have a very nihilistic concept to it, because it doesn't matter if he dies or not. Change is coming for everybody, and you can fear it, you can run from it, but it's gonna happen. And
to me, it doesn't matter how he dies.
He just is going to die like everyone else.
I think it doesn't even matter that he did, because time keeps moving. The story...
It matters because Ed Tom's only like real goal was to try and get him safe. He wasn't trying to like stop the bad guys. He let him get away. He had told Carla Jean, I'm going to help your man. I'm going to try and save him. And so he goes straight there and he finds the dead body. Like, to me, it was Ed Tom's journey. And
that's a good way of looking at it.
He's listed as top billing in the film, Tommy Lee Jones, despite being in not as much of the film. But to me, doesn't matter that he died or like how he died. It matters that he died.
Yeah, I think you're right. That I never really thought about it through that lens.
It almost cuts right away to the next scene to the crime scene swarming, and then Carla Jean walking up, and Ed Tom just walks over, just takes his hat off, and she starts crying. We don't need no fucking words. Like, that's heartbreaking. And her mom's got the cancer with this many
friends.
In El Paso.
Zero.
You know how many friends I have? You don't often see a Mexican in a suit. I was like, Jesus, Grandma.
It's 1980s.
Yeah.
That doesn't even fly in 1980, Grandma.
You might need to take a trip down to the South. Blatant racism is everywhere, and they are unapologetic.
current.
Oh, 2080.
One state I'll never want to live, Texas.
So to me, no, I could live in Austin, Texas.
Carly coming through with a big fuck you to all our Texas listeners with a big slam dunk.
I'm on here once per year. Fuck you, Texas.
Okay,
keep going. Brad.
There's a lot of good people in Texas. I'm sure they all live in the big cities, though.
No, yeah, I'm just I don't want to live there. It's too hot.
So, fun fact: the Coen Brothers were not going to film any of this in Texas, despite it being set in Texas. And they told it to Tommy Lee Jones. He says, "That's not a good idea." And then they're like, "Okay, we're filming in Texas."
What did they want to film it in Georgia? I would assume.
I think it was going to be in New Mexico, and a lot of it is filmed in New Mexico, but all of like the wide outdoor shots were filmed there. Tommy Lee Jones actually grew up like within 30 miles of where this takes place.
No shit.
Well, if he's from Texas,
so he knows.
It's fine.
And also,
but the rest of Texas, I'm just kidding.
there's a funny line from Ed Tom Bell where he's talking about, I don't even understand it. They just killed a federal judge last year, and we were watching a YouTube video about it. And in 1979, a federal judge was killed by Woody Harrelson's dad in Texas.
By Woody Harrelson's dad?
Woody Harrelson's dad was a convicted killer.
No shit.
And he killed a judge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Is he from Texas?
Woody Harrelson's dad killed someone in Texas. We know that much.
Where is Woody Harrelson from?
The same place Anton Chigurh is from. Where strange people are from.
We're going to Google it, and Brad can cut this time out. It's fine.
No, I'm not going to cut it out.
You're going to cut it out?
Woody Harrelson is from Midland, Texas.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy. So you still like no one from Texas?
Yep. No, Woody Harrelson. He's cool. He's cool. His dad? No.
Yeah, I don't know the situation.
I don't either.
I'm gonna side on murdering people as bad. Maybe.
God damn.
But what if it was
Brad
like a
with the
Denzel?
controversial take
What if
here.
But what if it was like a Denzel Washington? Like, my daughter needs cancer care. If I don't kill this person,
Are you referring to John Q?
I prefer Susie Q myself.
What?
Wait, the movie John Q.
I was talking about the movie Susie Q, starring the Pink Ranger as a ghost, made for TV Disney original.
Oh, I've never seen
Oh,
it. I was not a Disney kid.
I think it's the first Disney original.
Really?
Yeah, she's a ghost.
Susie
and
Q.
She's a ghost, and he wants to take her to prom, but she's a ghost.
What a dilemma.
I know. Can you,
Buy a Ouija board, perform a seance? I mean, what's so hard about it?
we
Hey,
recently watched both Ouija films.
Are they good?
the prequel's great.
The first one is regular schlock, and then a little-known director named Mike Flanagan comes in to direct the prequel, and it is the most beautifully made film ever. Imagine like a prequel to Hot Garbage.
You're like, oh,
Damn.
And it's Hot Garbage, Origins of Evil. Yeah, it's strangely good. But there's still more to the film. There's some extra things that happen. We see Carla Jean is at her mother's funeral, and Javier Bardem is there, and he says, well, I promised your husband, I gave him my word that I would kill you. And she stands up to him and refuses to play his game.
It's just you.
there's no chance.
I love
I don't
it.
know what she says.
It's different in the book. In the book, she does wind up choosing something, and then she dies. I think it's much better, though, that she stands up to him,
Well, I think.
and then he kills her for not playing the game, which that actually proves that he is just the bad guy who's not operating on this code that he thinks he is.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
She trapped him.
And I think that's fucking awesome. Yeah. Plus the line where she's like, just the delivery of that line, it's just you.
Yeah.
Like, that probably fucks with him at some point because they're.
You know what really fucks with him? The moment she broke his spell by doing that, he gets hit by a fucking car while he's going through a green light.
What are the chances of that?
As soon as he like breaks his whatever one of the rules he lives by and proves that it's just him doing it and not the quarter, he is punished by fate and destiny fucking immediately.
Yes.
That's the spell being broken. She broke some cosmic spell there. I'm calling it.
You got a bone sticking out your arm.
You got a fucking bone sticking out your arm, bro.
And then he just limps away into the sunset.
And I think that's the right call for him too. I mean, evil is still out there.
I mean, yeah, and it's the not knowing. I mean, realistically, there's a good chance he died with internal bleeding and having a compound fracture. Like, you're not going to be able to blow up a Walgreens like parking lot and be able to fix that.
He got away.
Well, that's the cool thing is like you don't know.
Maybe he just amputated his arm. It's fine.
And then he attached a silenced shotgun to his nub.
And
then
he
it's
became
like
Terminator 3.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
In the sequel, he'll be placed there.
okay. My movie knowledge isn't as vast as yours. Is it Quentin Tarantino when the girl has a gun for a leg?
That's technically Robert Rodriguez, but it's part of a two-part film with
Grindhouse
Oh,
films.
okay.
Death Proof and
Planet Terror. Yeah.
So he gets one of those.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
He'd have a silent shotgun for a arm.
Yeah. I mean, that would. And then he could hold his cattle killer in the other hand.
Or he would get the cattle killer attachment because he uses that thing all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
He would just get a backpack for it, and then
Like, you see the man with the weird haircut, one arm, cattle killer with a backpack on.
avoid him.
He's got a bone sticking out his arm.
Fucking.
He had a
don't.
bone on his fucking arm.
I'll give him my shirt.
Where's your shirt, kid? I gave it to him.
I gave it to the man with a bone in his
I
arm.
had this $100 covered in blood beforehand.
Right? Like,
That's from my
how
mom.
do you use that?
Yeah, when he hands the mariachi band that money, they'll take it, but
They'll
they're
take it.
also, I guess you take it to a bank or something because they have to take it.
Can you bleach money?
I'll tell you what, it is the damnedest story. I had a red Sharpie in my pocket, and it got a little. I was doing a little bit of jogging. I think the cap came off, and it bled onto the dollar bill, and it's totally not blood.
He's out of line, but he might be telling the truth.
But I just need to cash this in because you can't even read that it's a $100 bill no more because of the blood. I mean, the red ink.
Or you just go to Walmart and they take it.
Yeah, that's true. They would just take it.
They just run the marker to make sure it wasn't fake, and then they would take it.
It's the same color as the dried blood.
Yep. Is that blood? Yep. Okay.
Your total will be $98.75, please.
You can buy a lot for that much at Walmart.
Yeah, you can.
There is one more scene that seems out of place, but also one of my favorite scenes in the film. Ed Tom goes to talk to his uncle, who is somehow more Ed Tom than Ed Tom. How many of those cats you have now? I don't know.
Few.
Several.
Oh, yes, several.
Depends on what you mean by got. A couple of them are half wild. Some are straight up outlaws. How fresh is this coffee? I make a fresh pot once a week generally, even if there's some left. Love this fucking old man so much.
Right? He doesn't care. He'll drink week-old coffee.
Yeah. How'd you know it was me? I deduced it when you walked in.
That's his way of saying no shit, Sherlock.
Just fucking utter sarcasm and aggression to his nephew. I hope I can talk to Orion like that someday. The point of this scene kind of feels a little out of place. They're discussing, though, how Ed Tom's father passed away in a shootout by some Indians, they say, some Native Americans. And I think it just is further calling to the fact that there's another scene where they're like talking about like this kid had green hair and
bones in his nose.
Bones. Strange times, Ed Tom. Strange times.
Welcome to Bayview.
Yeah.
Don't go to River West if you think that's bad.
I looked at a place in River West.
You could fit in there. Your brother with that haircut, he would belong in River West.
showered
They probably
too much,
wouldn't
I
give
guess.
him the role of mayor.
You are the mayor of River West, and we talk like this because it's one of the accents Tyler feels comfortable doing on the podcast.
Did you cut your hair with one of those vacuum
Probably.
cleaners that suck cuts?
Suck cuts.
Because you're a mayor now, buddy.
Is that a thing? Suck cuts?
It's from a movie or a TV show or something. Like you get a vacuum cleaner that like sucking cuts.
Can we raise money for charity and suck and cut your beard? Not that I want to cut your beard, but
You brought it up.
it's funny.
It depends how much money we raise. I would portion of the proceeds go to me.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I've never seen Brad's chin.
Neither have I.
It's been obscured by hair.
Javier Bardem might be in there for all we know. Yeah. Until we open that
As
door.
long as you don't have the haircut, you're good.
Then there's one final scene where the only person that can talk back to Ed Tom and make him laugh and smile, his wife, he's not good at being retired, clearly.
No.
He's sitting there. She's like, what you going to do today? He's like, I don't know. I might go for a ride. What you think? I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah, she's like, I can't plan
Yeah.
your day.
Maybe I'll help clean up around here.
Don't.
Don't. I think that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he talks about two of his dreams. We mentioned the first one's about money. The second dream he had is he's riding on like this mountain path on a horse, and his dad comes up and passes him carrying a torch with like some fire making material, and he's like going off ahead into the dark to like make a fire, dying before us, leading the way, guiding you to where you're going. Just really awesome. A really awesome bit of writing there. And that's it. Then they just hard cut to the end.
Yeah. It's a great movie. I really enjoy I don't want to call this movie a Western, but I mean, like, its roots are definitely there.
Western,
and
yeah.
the Westerns used to be the most popular fucking movie you could make, 50 years ago.
And then Blazing Saddles came out, and it became kind of a joke for a little bit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But before the MCU, there was a shit ton of spaghetti Westerns. And the Western genre,
If you don't know what spaghetti Western means, Carly,
you're
Help.
not Italian enough.
Go ahead and explain what a spaghetti western is, Tyler.
Help.
A spaghetti western is. It was after that the Italian filmmaker made whatever movie that was.
Sergio Leone.
Yes, he made. How the fuck do you explain a spaghetti western?
It's fucking simple. It was cheaper to make westerns in Italy, so they made them over there.
Oh.
And there's bad dubbing because a lot of the actors only speak Italian, and they added the English in later. And that's a spaghetti western. It's a western made in Italy.
Okay, so
On the cheap.
my understanding of a spaghetti western was not that simple.
It takes place at an Olive Garden. Yeah. Clint Eastwood is your server.
You put it down your gun now. Yay.
Hey.
I don't think so. Where's my marinara?
But where's the gabagool, eh? Where's the gabagool?
A super salad? I'll take a super salad.
Yes, please.
But watching this last
That'd
night,
be great.
I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again a little bit. I've been
Always.
watching Deadwood.
Always.
Yes. So I've been kind of enveloped in the westerns lately. And it is a genre that I think needs more love and attention moving forward. There is a ton of good stories you could tell just based in this world that we've largely forgotten lately in cinema. I would Quentin Tarantino is the biggest director to make a handful of westerns recently. Who else has really done it? Like Django Unchained and
You
The
should
Hateful
watch.
Eight.
You should watch Sukiyaki Western Django.
What the fuck is that?
What?
Sukiyaki?
It's a Japanese Western.
Oh,
Interesting.
I'd watch it.
Action's insane. Quentin Tarantino actually has a guest role.
No shit.
It's very cool. But there are still good Westerns. They're just not as many.
Yeah,
I was going to mention that there's a Doctor Who episode that was a Western-ish.
I think it's called A Town Called Mercy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt
That's
Matt Smith.
It would
yeah.
have to be Matt Smith because I haven't seen past him.
And there's the alien cyborg Terminator
Yep.
who becomes the guardian of the city.
You know what's a really good Western?
What?
Bone Tomahawk. I don't remember who makes
That's
it.
a porno. It's still a good Western.
It's still a good Western, though. The production value is insane. No, this has got Kurt Russell in it, and the guy who plays one of the two. He's the guy from The Conjuring, who's like the main dude, who's the only guy not ordained by the Catholic Church to do exorcisms. You know what I'm talking about? He plays
so.
Ed Lauren.
Yeah. The main
That guy.
The main guy.
From Insidious, too.
Yeah.
He's that guy. He's in it. It's a great movie.
No Country for Old Men is the first Oscar-winning film to be edited using Final Cut Pro.
I just vomited in my mouth a little bit.
I like Final Cut Pro. I used to back before it changed.
Oh, we're talking like Final Cut 7? Like,
2009 Final Cut Pro was the bomb.
with the gray.
Once they changed it, then I vomited.
Yes,
And moved to
okay.
Premiere, but it was the first one using that, which
Oh,
is
shit.
pretty cool. Awards were pretty good to this film. It won 4 Academy Awards. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor for Javier Bardem, and Best Adapted Screenplay. The movie made a bunch of money. It budgeted $25 million, box office of $171.6 million.
And in the business, we call that a return on investment.
Not their
Cha-ching.
not their most successful film, though. You're talking about how there's not great Westerns. Their most successful film ever made was True Grit, a fantastic Western starring Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon
I forgot that was by them.
and Haley Seinfeld. Yep. And then they also made The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Here there are fantastic fucking Westerns, and Tyler hasn't even watched them. The Coen Brothers are making Westerns, and you're not even watching them.
I've watched True Grit. I haven't seen The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Dude, you will giggle. Dude, if you watch the first 5 minutes, you're immediately watching the whole film.
Maybe that's what I do tonight.
It's great. It is very good.
I do like me a good Western, though. I used to watch them with my papaw. That's right. I said
Papaw.
that. Papaw. Mamaw and papaw. That's what I call my grandparents in Arkansas.
Are those real
like it.
words?
Yep. P-A-P-A-W.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Me and my papaw used to watch...
That's all I heard when you said P-A-P-A-W.
yeah. That's what Blue's Clues is actually saying. We used to watch John Wayne movies, and I've seen a fuck ton of them, but I don't remember any of them from my childhood.
Right. Because you were a child.
You ever seen Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights?
But yeah.
John Wayne?
Yeah. Probably.
John Wayne.
John Wayne Gacy. No.
Yes.
You know, John Wayne's real name was like Marion.
He's Italian.
Yeah. Spaghetti Western.
Yep.
There we go.
We do have to do a ranking.
Yes, this will be fun.
As we enter our second film that isn't a Marvel Cinematic Universe film into the ranking.
Congratulations. Well, this is fun. I've heard you guys do this before.
So we're going to start.
Do I have to explain myself?
No.
Not for a podcast worth of time, not like 90 minutes, but a good 10 seconds
Yeah.
if you have thoughts that are relevant.
Maybe.
I would go No Country for Old Men or Captain America 1.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
I think we have a winner already.
No Country for Old Men or Barbarian.
Ooh. No Country for Old Men.
I gotta go No Country for Old Men. As much as I love Barbarian,
If Barbarian was as good in the second half as it was in the first,
my thinking exactly.
I just was so full of anxiety and terror, and I'm like, get the fuck out of there.
that was the most scared I've ever seen you watching a film was Barbarian.
Well, the first
Easily the most.
First,
Carly
yeah.
was so quiet and weird that I thought something else was wrong.
went
I've
up-
never seen her that upset.
That's the first. That movie is legitimately scary for the first
Yeah.
good portion of it. My date had to leave the theater. I
I
couldn't
remember
even
you telling us
see
that.
the end of the movie until it came out on HBO Max.
I really wish the story was she left the theater. I don't know
I
where she went.
stayed.
I stayed.
I should have stayed because I did not get another date after that. So I should have just watched the end
She's
of the
probably-
movie.
she's
What
probably
a
tr-
bitch. I'm
Tyler,
just kidding.
Tyler or her.
It's fine.
A little bit of both.
I'm just kidding. No, nobody's a bitch.
Carly just talks like this, people. It's okay.
But Texas, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say, but Texas, full of bitches.
I was
We're
actually-
passing through Texas later this year. They're going to be looking for you.
I'm going to
fine.
Texas at the end of the year.
I got it.
We're
My
going to
name-
Amarillo.
My name Moss, and I can handle anything that's coming.
Money Moss?
My name
You're my name of Moss? Is that what you said?
Moss. Llewelyn.
No, you're Carla Jean Moss. Carly Jean Moss.
Llewelyn Moss. I can handle anything that's coming.
And I
From
am,
Texas.
and I'm Ed Tom. Ed Tom Bradley.
And I can't give you no personal information.
Damn it.
I'm the strongest character in the film.
Actually, I changed mine. I'm going to, but he's got 2 double beds. You want an additional room?
But it's got 2 double beds.
There's one right next to you. No, I like that one, but it's got 2 double beds.
That's another thing too. Like, he's buying the tent. What does the guy say? Like,
He's like, wait a second.
you want just the tent poles?
Yep, I can order you tent poles. It'll be coming. He's like, no, just give me a tent.
Do you have a tent?
Which tent do you want? I want the most poles.
Yeah. I love how people that the core group of characters are interacting with have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea. They are so oblivious to the life and death cat and mouse game we're watching.
Well, he comes in to that one store and he buys the pair of boots, and then the guy sells it to him, and then he comes back in later wearing
How are
like
them boots?
like a medical gown, and then the boots. He's like, "How them holding up?"
Yeah.
You ever
And
get many people wearing no clothes in here?
No, it's peculiar. Oh, there's that one super nice guy who has the chicken truck,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
he's like, if you're looking for an airport, where would you go? He's like, we look for an airstrip or an airport. And where are you flying? I don't know. I've been there, man. Just got to get out. I get it. Just the nicest dude you'll ever meet.
Oh, that's funny.
I've been there. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or No Country for Old Men?
See, this is where it starts to get tough.
No Country for Old Men.
No
I would
Country for
agree.
Old Men.
Yep.
It is artistic masterpiece. Avengers Infinity War or No Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men.
Yep.
No Country for Old Men or Thor Ragnarok?
No Country for Old Men. And that's my favorite MCU movie, so that's really slam dunking it there.
No Country for Old Men is now number 1 on our list of MCU films phase 1 through 3 plus Barbarian and No Country for Old Men.
Seems like you need to venture out a little bit.
It was easy to just rank the MCU films. Once we do another rank the Star Wars films,
Yeah.
that one will get off the rails. And then we're going to have to bring on Matt Grenier to rank the MCU Phase 4 because it involves watching 4 TV series that You will be there too. You, Tyler, might not be there.
I do not invested anymore.
But
What?
you're actually caught up on all of the TV shows for the newest MCU stuff.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were talking Star Wars, and I was like,
No.
we skipped that one show. Well, I skipped that one show.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as people that have seen all of Miss Marvel, Loki, Moon Knight, Captain America, and Winter Soldier,
I liked Loki.
Scarlet Vision,
Scarlet Vision?
WandaVision.
or WandaVision.
I was going to say, they
get
did
those-
one for Scarlet.
I get those two confused.
Who's Scarlet?
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our strange journey. No Country for Old Men is a fantastic film. Our cat is saying it's time to eat, so we're going to wrap this up here. Here, the Dogcast exists because of people like you, so thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about this episode or anything at all, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Hair the Dogcast or Twitter at Hot Dogcast. And if you want access to our Discord, access to these episodes months in advance, as well as a lot of really other great perks, check out patreon.com/ShareTheDogcast. There is a whole bunch of exclusive episodes for you there. Thanks
Money. Money me. Money me now.
just a little bit, please. Like and subscribe. We would do this more often if we could. Special thanks to our executive producers, Ryan Krisinek, Kip Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Just Phil, Cole Delgardno, Bryant Ross, and Kelly Gutowski, and Anton Chigurh. That's scary. Like and subscribe.
You
Like
think
and
it's just
subscribe,
25
friendo.
cents?
What's the most you
Major
ever lost by
fails.
listening to a Patreon episode? This is your lucky podcast. But thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, and if you are already on the Discord, be sure to throw out some movies you'd like to see in Popcorn Dogs. It'd be nice to get some feedback there. I do have a wealth of knowledge. I have a movie database that I run where I can just pull movies from. But if there's a good movie that somebody shouts out, I'd love to do it.
Anything else you'd like to say, Carly?
I don't have a database, so don't expect a lot of great things coming from me, but I am here to be the doofy character of this podcast.
You're the only likable person on this show, Carly.
Hi, I am on here maybe once every other year.
We'll have you on Popcorn Dogs more often. That's a nice thing. It doesn't require you to play 35 hours of God of War.
Cool beans. I like that.
Yep.
And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I can't give out no information.
Now, people from Florida,
You know how many friends I have in Florida?
just my brother.
This Manny.
This many.